I'm curious to tap into kind of your brain over the last 10 years and some of the things that you've gotten wrong over the last 10 years that you can help us with. Because I feel like what happens is we're all humans and we all make the same mistakes every cycle. So you meet someone new in crypto, like class of 2020, class of 2021, and you're like, oh, I know exactly what mistakes you're about to make, right? And so maybe people listening, Cobie, can avoid those mistakes by hearing from some of yours. And then also would love to hear about some of your biggest wins. So some of the things that you've been really right about. But first, let's talk about those losses.
Yeah, so I've made every possible mistake you can make in crypto virtually. Like all of them, as new ones are invented, it means they're probably invented by me. Like I've done virtually everything wrong. Often in crypto, you do something you do something wrong and you get rewarded for it. So I've had those as well. I think my biggest wins and my biggest losses were all by making mistakes, because my biggest portfolio wins were throwing risk management completely out of the window and like doing something that now I would no longer do because I didn't understand properly then. I didn't know what I was doing or what was important. My first 2 trades ever after buying Bitcoin, my first investments in other things were my biggest portfolio multipliers ever. I did like 200, 300x in my first few months in crypto by buying some altcoins that were just completely trash, but at the time I didn't know why they were trash. I bought something called Quark Coin, which was promoted by a YouTuber called Bill Still, who's 150 years old, and he's a doomer, finance guy. He promoted Quark Coin, and it had 7 different hashing algorithms, and I was brand new, and I was 7 seems like a lot, so let's go all in that. That seems 7 times better than Bitcoin. And because loads of people saw this Bill Still thing, and then other people started going, oh, Bill Still might be onto something. It went parabolic, and during the time it went parabolic, I researched okay, why would you need 7 hashing algorithms? And it turns out you don't. It turns out that's not a useful thing, and it was just a small story someone had told, an experiment someone had done. So I sold it, and I managed to sell virtually at the top, and then I did the same thing again on something else, and all of a sudden I'd looked my way into massive portfolio multiples and could take the game a little bit more seriously because I'd gone from having 0 money and being in debt to having something substantial. But I also did that on stuff where the opposite happened, and I lost a third of my portfolio in a single trade. And honestly, over time, you can just look back and at everything as oh, that was a really good moment for me. That was a really good moment for me. Of these small compounding wins. But the main thing that I would attribute to at least my investment style was trade things and return to value. Where originally I thought the only value was Bitcoin, right? I was played altcoins from as soon as I got into crypto, but my long-term thesis was Bitcoin is the only real value in this space so far, and I'll trade attention or narrative or whatever. I'll participate in the waves in order to get more Bitcoin, because I need to get as much Bitcoin as I can before everyone else figures out that Bitcoin is really valuable. People don't know right now. I know I need to get as much as I can, and I don't have any money, so I can't just buy it. I'll trade my way there. And then over time that evolved, and I learned about Ethereum, and I thought, okay, maybe Ethereum now has crossed this chasm into being value too. And I think maybe there's a handful, 5, 10 things that fit that sort of description today of value that you should try and own before everyone figures out how valuable it is. And by taking this sort of approach of everything else is actually worth 0, as much as you can trick yourself in real time or FOMO or whatever, if you have this at the back of your head, this is all worth 0, apart from these value assets, you're basically flipping penny stocks in order to buy more Apple or Amazon or whatever, then you're happy to take a 5x in something else and move on. You never go, oh, I got this like really great trade where I held it for 1,000,000,000%, because you don't subject yourself to those things. You go, I made a profit, I get more value. I make a profit, I get more value systemically over time. And this also helped me like avoid the massive L's as well, because you take a sort of Horcrux approach to investing, where you split your soul into like a million different pieces across everywhere, because you know the only thing you have to do is retain this value. So you can't lose all of your Bitcoin in a hack. You can't lose all your Ethereum in, you know, like some smart contract.
Is that what you still do, by the way, Cobie? Do you still like denominate in Bitcoin and Ether?
I denominate in Ethereum from 2020 onwards, basically.
And you still denominate in Ethereum then? You still denominate in ETH, all your wins?
Yeah, because like the way I think about it, right, is like you got to consider, what do you think is the most liquid asset that you could hold your entire net worth in? So in 2020, like May 2020, you go, okay, if you think crypto is going to get really hot now because the inflation narrative is becoming mainstream, that was one of the early things that I understood, like, you know, they're printing money and Bitcoin should therefore appreciate over time because the denominator is worth less and less over time. If you think there's going to be a bull run, you should denominate in that asset that you think is liquid enough for your entire net worth, but that will perform the best. So I thought in 2020, Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. So I should put my entire net worth into Ethereum because I think that will perform the best, but it's more liquid enough for me to enter and exit in a moment if I need to. And then I should spend the bull market trying to outperform Ethereum because I should be only deploying when I think something is going to perform better than Ethereum. And I can't put my entire net worth into other things that I think are going to perform better than Ethereum, because when the time comes to sell, I might slip the entire chart to zero by trying to sell. So you then position based on like what you think liquidity requirements are and stuff. So like I was not as early as everyone else. I didn't buy any of the seed rounds or anything, but I was early-ish to the all L1 trades, but I miscalculated how liquid they'd become. I didn't realize that, you know, Sam was going to go full like Solana Jesus. And I didn't realize that 3 Arrows were going to become, you know, the legion of Avalanche factions. So I didn't know that they would be so liquid. So maybe it was a mistake. Maybe in December 2020, you could have said, actually, you put full net worth in Solana now because it's going to perform better than Ethereum, and it will be liquid enough to exit. I actually don't know if it would have been. I didn't check. Don't like to look at my mistakes. But yeah, I denominate in Ethereum because I call Ethereum effectively the like market average, like the market performance. That's the thing that you should be trying to outpace if you do this full time as an investor or trader. Because if you spent like the last 18 months actively trading and investing, and you could have just held Ethereum, then it's like you just wasted your day. Could have been outside having like a nice time with the sun, which I haven't seen in a long time.
To continue leveling up your crypto game, then you need to get on the Bankless newsletter. It's the world's most popular crypto email and is completely free. Just click below to sign up.